All right, so Prince Harry currently is giving evidence, first royal in 133 years to do so. The latest via our colleagues in London, where apparently things are getting quite testy between him and the lawyers from the newspaper of which he is having a crack at.
Been under a lot of tough questioning, but it's actually been, I think, more emotive in one way yesterday, because a lot of the questioning that has gone on this morning is about his relationship with Chelsea Davy. And you very much sense how strongly he feels that both his and Chelsea Davy's lives have been impacted by the invasion of privacy, not only, as he alleges, by the Mirror Group, but the press as a whole. And it was there was one interesting comment where he made a point to Mr. Green that this whole process was as distressing for her and her new family as it is for him.
Ingrid Seward is a royal author and commentator. She joins us now from the UK. Ingrid, it's pretty obvious here, which is the way it's working, which is he's listing a series of grievances. The lawyer on the behalf of the newspaper says, well, how can you prove that that was hacking? Harry often says in each of these instances, well, how could it not be? Now, it'll be a judge that'll decide who's right and who's wrong here. But how do you feel, well, a day and a bit into Harry on the stand?
I think Harry might win in the court of public opinion, because I think whatever people feel about him, there's got to be a groundswell of sympathy for this, young couple, as they were then, not married, obviously, Chelsea and Harry, being constantly harassed by the press. Now, whether or not the press did that by hacking, that is the whole point. Harry's got to prove that they hacked him. And it's very, very difficult for him to do. It's difficult for anyone to do, because they come back and say, well, it was in another newspaper, or somebody told us, or, it's very hard. He's got to actually have proof. But the judge could still come down on his side. I think what happened, Harry's actually disported himself pretty well, because when he was in the army, and he explained this in his autobiography, Spare, that he had some army training, which helped him deal with things if he got caught, for instance, and was grilled and tortured. Not that they're doing that to him, but do you know what I mean? He's got that. I think it's really helped him. So, not lose his temper, not break down, just stand there and try and answer these questions as concisely as he can.
Well, also, I think that anyone assuming that he's supposed to be the sole witness here, look, it's his case, but he's putting two dots very close together, right? Sometimes he's not able to join them. Sometimes the suppositions is what he's trying to do the joining with. But as you say, it's the judge that'll end up there. I'm equally fascinated by when he pops out of the stand, and it's going to be firstly, his own lawyer will obviously get a chance to try to join those dots later today, but then some of the newspaper editors. Now, we know what happened with News of the World, but that seemed to be the only example authorities really went after. This is an attempt to say that what was happening for a long time was happening everywhere, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, but Harry's got 3 court cases. Actually, he's got 4, because he's got one in America about his visa and his drug taking. So he's got a lot going on. But he's got a case against the Daily Mail, which is associated. He's got a case against the Sun, which, as we know, is Murdoch. And he's got this case against the Mirror. I think that he's going to have great sympathy, because this is what his raison d'etre is. He wants to say that the British press is rubbish and messy and unkind and unfair, and he wants to try and prove it. But I do think he's going to have a very difficult time. But the judge could rule in his favour, but I don't know how far that's going to get him either. There's 3 other claimants that have to come to the court in this case, lesser known, but still, semi-celebrity claimants. But all Harry has to do is win on one point. Apparently, there's 33 instances when Harry says he's been hacked, but he only has to prove one of them to win the case.
Well, and certainly sort of what seems to be little wins for the newspaper saying, well, hang on, how can you be hacked when you didn't have a mobile phone to 2 years later? But there's 33 examples of it, as you say, including the stuff about this relationship. Certainly the evidence that's coming forward today is that he was saying, well, there's stuff that literally I told no one that was turning up. If it was because I was saying one thing to one person, and that was my former partner. Ingrid, enjoy the rest of the day. It'll be a big one in the UK, and enjoy the recreations where the actors step in and play the part as well. We'll talk to you soon.